everyone.
Hello, welcome.
Welcome back.
Indeed.
Yes, we're so glad you joined us here for part 2 of our Q&A.
Part 2.
All right. So, yes, part 1 was fabulous.
It was.
Such great questions. And we still have more great questions.
More great questions
to go through.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So, let's go ahead and get started.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to read it.
Okay.
Have either of you been in a situation dealing with an entity
Yeah.
that your spirit team...
Sorry, I'm getting a little giddy.
Your spirit team felt like they needed some reinforcements due to its strength?
No. I mean, that would be the simplest answer. No.
No. The spirit team, that is the reinforcement.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So just sort of in a real basic way, without getting too in depth, the teams that you need, the spirits that you need come in when we don't call them in. We
Right.
don't say, oh, so-and-so. We can't, like Fred, I could call Fred in if I'm saying, hey, Fred, come on.
Although
in.
he's always
If
there.
But if he was needed in a situation where I'm going up against an entity that is so powerful that I'm in trouble, whoever I need is already going to be there. Yeah, that's the way it works. It's really kind of so. Yeah, so I'm not going to go more into depth in that. There's more to it than that, but that's basically the what.
Yep.
Okay.
I will just add to that. Most of you know about Felix,
Yep.
my paranormal guardian. If he doesn't show up, I know it's going to be nothing too.
Yeah.
I don't know what word to use.
Nothing like
But if he shows up, I'm on alert.
Yes.
I know that I'm walking into something.
They are spiritual tools, just like anything else. Yeah. Now we do open space. Okay, I said I wasn't going to go in farther, but that just did it.
I went farther.
You did.
It's on me. It's on me.
So we open space, and oftentimes what will happen is they will stand right outside the space, and so we ask them to come in. So if you hear us saying something like we called them in or whatever, we're not calling them in like they're not off having lunch somewhere.
No.
They've alerted us to the fact that they're there because they're needed, and we, having free will, we still have to ask them. So that's the way that works. Yeah. And I hope that clear as mud for you there.
Clear as mud. Oh.
And she has another question.
Yes. What are your thoughts about spiritual courses, training, like healing, psychic abilities, and mediumship that is online versus in-person learning?
Well, I've done both. I used to only do in-person training development, and now it's all via Zoom. So I don't have it doesn't matter either way. They both work. If you're asking watching pre-recorded videos to learn, I would say, no.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would say watching those may be a good indicator of what you're interested in really learning.
Yes. Yes. But actually learning that way, the reason I say no, and the reason I go, is because everyone is so different. I have never, I don't know how many students I've had over the years, and no two have ever been the same. So those videos are very general, or the person teaching them is assuming that everyone's the same. And if you have a teacher that assumes everyone's the same, that's not a great teacher.
Agreed.
So
agreed. Because we all learn differently. We all have our own experiences. And our life experience absolutely has an effect on how we absorb the information, how we translate the information.
And one thing that does not come up, I think we are the only ones that ever talk about it. When you begin to develop, your trauma surfaces.
Ooh, yeah, it does.
So you're not going to get the help you need from a video.
No.
you may not even realize what's happening to you. You may just think, oh, I just woke up today and I was in such a bad mood and I blah, blah, blah. Well, you got something coming up. You've been triggered.
Yep.
So that would be another reason.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Great question.
Good question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I'm sorry to laugh at this last one. When did you first learn that you had spiritual gifts?
Oh,
Now,
yes.
when did I?
Yes.
Okay. When did I first realize it versus when did I really know it?
Yeah.
Big difference.
Big
for me.
difference.
Because
Yeah.
as a kid,
Yeah. For me too.
looking back as a kid, yeah, I knew some stuff.
Yes.
I knew
Yes.
some stuff.
Yes.
However, when I was a kid, that
It wasn't talked about at
Mm-mm.
all. So we're
Mm-mm.
talking about very generational here.
Very
Um,
generate.
It was, it was still actually when we, somewhere between, I think, when our birth dates,
Mhm.
when we were born, it was actually illegal to even do tarot readings here in Portland.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was still, I'm not sure when, but I think it was somewhere between so, way long time ago.
Mhm.
So today, I think there is sort of a twofold sort of thing, or I don't know what you call it. It's both good and bad. So the dichotomy of that was the word I was searching for. It's really great that the information is out there, and
Mhm.
it's also really bad that all the information is out there.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would not do any pre-recorded learning. As Mari-Lyn said, to see is that maybe something I'd be interested or not.
Mhm.
That might be something, but
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah.
Use it as a scouting tool.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a
but not
lot
for
to
real
learn.
learning.
There is so much to learn beyond. Woo, there's a lot. So,
And you're healing in the midst
Yeah.
of all of that.
yes.
And
And
it's so important. Super
yeah,
important.
healing is super important. And that's something that I'm going to say this again because it's so important. If you start developing and you don't heal at the same time,
Mhm.
you're really not doing yourself a very good service. And there's lots of reasons, and that's its own video. That's its own
It's yeah.
couple-hour video.
That's huge.
But yes.
We could go on and on
Yeah.
and on and on and on.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So what's next?
So,
Do you know?
yeah,
All
what's
right.
next is one we're
Okay,
not going to
so-
talk about yet.
So, all right. Here's one.
Yes,
Oh, this is a good one.
it is.
What are elemental spirits? I've heard them also referred to as nature spirits. Are they more dangerous than normal spirits? That was not his typing. That was me.
My-
Then earthies.
My lack of vocabulary is contagious.
Yes. We're a little spirit drunk now. Welcome to Spirit Drunk Talk. Okay. Okay, so elementals, that is really cultural. Elementals is a very cultural thing. Every culture has elementals. Some people, so like I think, and I'm not sure, but I think most people when they think of elementals, they think of like Ireland.
Okay.
And Scotland, that kind of like there's something with elementals. I don't know why. I'd like to know the why in that, but that seems to be when that comes up. An elemental, the way we see it, is something of the earth, is a spirit of the earth. So yes, earth nature spirits, yes.
Mhm.
And just like any other spirits, entities, earthies, anything, there's different levels.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, there's good, bad, and indifferent
Mhm.
in elemental. So an elemental is something that is created by nature or within nature, was never human,
Mhm.
nor is it something So it's also not a demon or, those low vibrational beings that we talk about that actually are more connected to the physical, the 3D human realm. Nature spirits are not. They're a whole phylum on their own. Phylum. Okay. Yeah, I'm having trouble speaking today, but yes,
It's okay.
So that's it. And there are good, loving ones who you've seen them actually in our videos. We've come across. Yes,
a lot of them.
I know.
That was my problem.
So, because we only probably a third, not even a third, a fourth of the clearings that we do are actually on YouTube. So we do a lot of clearings, and we come across them all the time. And some are, usually it's when we're clearing the land. And so there's some beautiful ones that just are so loving and kind, and they want to help us to help with the land. And then there are others that are just nasty and gross and
pretty and not nice and not kind. And
yes. So I hope that answered your question. I know this person is also someone who needs our ghost POV is what he says here. And we appreciate that. And we also hope that you understand why we don't. But we have we might stay tuned. Anyway, stay tuned. Yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right. So what's next?
All right. Well, it starts off with a big thank you. So
you're welcome.
Thank you.
We did.
We are so glad that you enjoy these. Okay. It feels like there has been a lot going on this year. Agreed. Busy year. Energetically, very busy year.
Yes.
Have you noticed a change in the spirits or energies that come in to help you with your clearings, your meditations, or your healings?
Because of the energy shifts and whatever, no. But did you have something to say? Sorry, I just totally cut you off.
Well, I agree, not because of the energy shifts out there
of our planet and
but
so
the
forth.
Energy shifts within each of us. I would say yes.
Sure. So could they be, and everything's connected. So maybe, yeah. We're always entering new phases, being that we are always students, we're always evolving, we're always moving, and we're introduced to new things. And when one of the beautiful things about spirit is that your safety net is always there. So every time you shift and move into of a higher vibration, something new is brought to you, you are introduced to something, you're never without that safety net of spirit. So spirit will always bring you the guidance that you need. And sometimes that's in the form of a new guide, a new team, whole teams. We have many that are a whole team. It's not just one. So I hope that makes sense.
Sorry, but I am glad I have a pretty large room right here, because with all our teams, holy moly.
Yes. It's
packed.
Yeah. And when they come in, just so you know, so spirits are energy. It's just energy. So they can be any size or shape really they want to be. But when they come into us, they typically come in a size of a human being. And so when they're all in the room, there's a lot of them, but they could all fit like on the tip of a pin.
Right.
Yeah. Because it's just energy. Right.
Which is just kind of crazy to think about.
Very crazy.
But so true.
So true.
So true.
Yep.
Yeah. Great answer. And great question.
Yes.
All right.
So this is from the same person, right? I think.
No.
Oh, I've gone off on the right. You ask the next question because I must be off. Okay.
No,
so
I think that's the right. Oh, there's two parts to that question.
All right.
Yeah.
Question 2. Can a low vibrational entity or earthy use anesthesia to their advantage to hurt someone while their defenseless state. Oh, and then there's even another one. I didn't see that
Yeah,
one too.
there's multiple questions.
Yeah.
I think you have another here. That's the beginning.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
That's your part 1 and part 2.
All right. I'm sorry, everyone, that you have to watch us go through this, but
Part of our charm.
yes.
Right? Yes, part of our charm.
Well, let's I'm gonna keep with this one.
Yeah.
So under sedation. Okay. This is not, they want to know if they can be hurt if you're under sedation. Talk to your guides. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but if you're like in for surgery, like you are sedated, that type of sedated, sure, your soul is never under sedation. It's all your physical body. So that goes completely. However, your consciousness, your ego is out as well. So how much you're going to remember, most people don't remember anything after being sedated,
Right.
but some people do. Some people come back and say, wow, I had such a great experience. They also have had some bad experiences. I think that's more trauma coming up though.
Right.
Um,
So under sedation,
yeah,
is it likely that a low vibrational entity is going to harm you?
no. However, this is why I started laughing at the beginning. What do you mean by sedation? Are you talking about sitting at home with a jug of whatever, whiskey, and that type of sedated, or a couple
Then
Lubes
yeah,
or something?
absolutely.
Then yeah,
You are open to all kinds of
yes, low entities
being taken advantage
Yes.
of by anybody.
So that kind of sedation, absolutely.
Yeah.
Going into the hospital, being sedated that way, no. And maybe there's someone out there that can prove me wrong right now. And so I try never to be like 100%, but it would be extremely rare. I've never heard of it through a hospital experience, through getting loaded at home and getting sedated that way. Sleeping pills, even, yes, yes.
Good point.
Sleeping pills, even, yes.
Yeah.
So I hope there's another one. Clear as mud.
Clear as mud.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And then that same person has something about animals or something, right?
Yeah. Why are animals so much more sensitive, aware, or able to see or sense any type of paranormal activity compared to humans?
The level of consciousness we have, and the ego.
The ego. They don't have that ego that's going to say, oh, that was the wind knocking the tree against the window. They're not.
No. Everything is, for an animal, is instinctive. It's feeling. So yeah, they don't have the big brain that we have. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So that's the why. And so they're all, intuitive. All right, what's next?
Okay, what is next?
Oh.
Good one.
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
I wanted to ask about salt.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah. Some mediums or psychics suggest using it as a barrier. What properties does salt have that make it a barrier, or other substances like tar water, etc.? Do they have magical properties?
Okay.
No magic.
No magic.
No magic.
So depending on your practice, I will say that. So depending on your practice, if you are within any of the earth magic practices, then you use those tools and you infuse those tools, like the salt, like the tar water, whatever, crystals, etc. You infuse it with whatever vibration you're looking for, whatever. So and we have a different take sort of on what magic is, but that, some practitioners use magic, and that's what they would call it. But really, you're just infusing those items with a particular vibration.
And those items, salt in particular, can hold energy. It does hold a vibration. And that's why I've used salt absolutely.
Mhm. Long
Salt,
time ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yes. And that's part of our progression. That's part of us evolving and moving, is that spirit said, yeah, you're kind of done with that. It was,
Yeah.
we learned how to do certain things by using those tools. And then we evolved from it. And we said, oh, okay, spirit, you've now taught us how to set those barriers, how to do those things without, we don't use any tools now. Any physical realm
Physical tools. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
The world of energy is like so, okay, magical.
magical. Yes.
So I guess in a sense,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it has evolved so much. There are many practitioners and many rituals and practices that are so old, they just continue using those same practices, when really today they don't need
They
them.
don't need them.
But they like those. There are people who like those rituals and they like the tools, and by all means use them.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that any of those things can do that we can't do without them.
Without them. Yeah.
Our own way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did that answer the question?
I hope so.
Okay.
I think so.
All right.
I think so. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
What is next?
Ah.
Let me get one off here. How
Okay.
about, how do earthies get trapped and not able to cross over even when they want to? Good question. How are they not able to find light on their own? Is it because of their trauma or inner work that still needs to be dealt with? How do earthies help themselves? Fabulous. And that's really sort of be answered in one. So an earthy, we call it, the reason that we call it trapped, like they're stuck or they're trapped, is because when we leave this body, so in this, we have consciousness here and we have a brain, right? Those are some big gifts that we were given here. We cross over, we go to what we might call heaven or the higher realms, and there's a lot more consciousness. And though we don't have this brain here, we have thought. There's a consciousness beyond what we understand right here. When you get stuck, when you're an earthy, you're somewhere in between. You don't have this brain anymore, and you don't have that higher big consciousness anymore. So you're stuck really in your own mind or in your own space. You always have a chance to cross over. But you don't know that. You're stuck in this low vibrational realm that is hard to maneuver. It's all part of your traumas, absolutely. Whatever your lower vibrational emotions are, like let's say you have depression, you have anger, you have jealousy, you like to hurt people, you have codependency, whatever those things are.
You're a victim.
You're a victim. When you're in that vibration of an earthy, you are that tenfold, hundredfold. That's all you are. And our guides are always trying to get our attention to get us to cross over, always, but we don't recognize them.
No, the vibration's too low that they're living in. It's just too low to be able to see it.
Yes.
Or recognize
it. Yes. And the light is not just there. It's sort of when your guides come in, because there was something here about the light. Why can't they find the light? The light isn't just there because the vibration is so low. That's why you need us. That's why we have a job. Our job is to meet these earthies and bring the light in. And that's something that we've learned how to do.
Yes.
And there's actually a lot more than that. There are other steps, but to answer that question, we bring the light. We bring it. And even with that, an earthy can still decide not to go in the light. They don't have to go.
Absolutely.
And And
Trying
so,
to think, have we ever had one
yes,
refuse?
yes. And Fred took them away.
That's right.
Yeah, it's very rare.
Mhm.
So once we bring in the light and we talk to them, oftentimes, I mean, usually the light comes in and they know what that is, and they're diving for
gone.
it. They're ready to go. Some of them don't want to. They're so scared
Yo, boy.
because maybe they had some religious trauma in life, something like that, and they're really, really scared.
Mhm.
But usually they go. But on occasion, I think it's only happened maybe twice, which is not considering how long we've been doing this and how many.
Mhm.
Where they just said, no, I'm not ready to go. I have some things that I still have some karma I want to work out, whatever. You don't just let them go. Called Fred in. Fred. Okay. Fred was right outside the sacred space. I saw him and called him in. And then he walked with the spirit off somewhere. And so
Where they go, but
yes, just so they can't haunt a house anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a perfect question
Mhm.
that leads right into the next question that I have.
Oh, okay.
Perfect segue. The question is about ghost hunter videos.
Mhm.
I know you guys don't react to videos anymore,
Mhm.
but I came across a video where an entity wanted to be crossed over, was
Mhm.
asking for help, but the medium that was present didn't know how to.
Yeah.
She's asking, I thought you guys and thought of you guys and wondered if you guys could watch and try to help the spirit cross over. And the answer to that is no, we can't. Going in with that mindset, with that intention, is crossing too many boundaries,
Yeah.
too many ethical boundaries.
Yes.
So unfortunately, we can't.
Yeah.
And that's why we don't do ghost POVs anymore.
Yeah. It's really painful.
It's yeah.
Yeah. And I will say this is just a kind of there are so many young people out there that they're really just ghost hunters. They call themselves mediums because maybe they're learning about their psychic abilities or something. Just because you can see a spirit doesn't make you a medium.
True.
It really hurts my heart that these people are out there saying they're mediums, they're paranormal mediums, whatever, and they're not helping the spirits. That's part of what we do. That's part of why we have
part of
this
the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Part
yeah. So no, unfortunately, if we were to, I don't know, there could be some situations where we could do that, but going it, like Mari-Lyn said,
Yeah.
going into it with that express
Yeah. With that intention.
intention. Thank you. That was the
Yeah.
word. We can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that is another perfect
Ah,
follow-up.
as a normal person who is not a medium, how do I help earthies? Do your prayers help comfort them? Can we ask for the power of God to help them? What does that do? Great questions. You call us, but or you get a hold of us. Prayer is always a beautiful thing. I would never tell someone not to pray and to say, oh, your prayers aren't going to do anything, or your prayers are going to help them. I don't know that. It really depends on the soul. What it's up to them to accept it or not. And God loves us that much, as a matter of fact. So people say, well, how come God's not helping? This is terrible.
Because it's unconditional love.
Yes. And we have free will.
Yeah.
That's a gift. And when we do cross over to the higher realms, it's you get the bigger picture. You understand this is just one little life. Even if you, let's say, live to be 100, and then you become an earthy for another 100 years, that's still such a small piece of your entire journey. It's all for our learning. It's all for our learning. So if that soul wants the help, then your prayers will be helpful. And if they don't, which most of them, most of them don't know they want help or don't know it could be better. They have no idea.
Mhm.
And there are some that ask for help and they're even not even sure what they're asking
What they're asking for,
They're just
right?
saying, I'm really unhappy here. This is uncomfortable. Whatever's happening, I just want out of this. Help me, help
Yep.
me, help me.
Yep.
So they're not really even asking for the type of help that we're coming with. But once they see it and they know it, woo, they go.
Right.
So I hope that, did that
I
answer?
think so. I
And
think so.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and oh, I want to say something though. Be careful with, there's so much codependency with earthies. So if you have an earthie in your home and you're praying for them, which is a beautiful thing.
Mhm.
However, what that does is create an attachment between you and that earthie. So that earthie is going to feel that comfort from you and not leave you. They're going to attach to you as you attach to them. That's what an attachment is. It's an emotional attachment,
Mhm.
and real codependency happens then. So there is that fine line there as well. If you have an earthie in your home, you need to get a hold of us.
Yes.
If you really want to help them.
Yes. Yeah.
You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, in that scenario, you have an earthie in your home.
Mhm.
And you haven't built up to call us. You want to, you talk yourself out of it.
Happens all the time.
All the time, all the time. You do reach out and you have an appointment with us. There's still a period of time there, right? Praying for that earthie, sure, it might do some good. The important part that I wanted to stress to what Pam was talking about, that codependency, is you don't want to pray to the earthie.
Oh, that's where that connection comes from. Yep.
You don't want to
Yep.
talk to the earthie. I'm praying for you. I'm hoping God will help you. You are absolutely creating your own codependency with that
Yes.
earthie. You want to be separate. Your prayers for that soul wants to be separate from that soul.
Yes.
If that makes sense. And yes,
Makes sense to me.
Wanting to be separate on purpose.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
What happens is then you become all about that earthie, and that's not healthy for you. They are not friends. They are not friends. You are not helping them when you end up with that attachment. When you have an earthie in your home, excuse me, you're not helping them by anyway, whether you ignore them, think they're friends, you're whatever. It's no one's being helped in this situation and things are getting worse. You will start to find your health declining or your mental health declining, or you don't
your
have the energy,
relationships
your relationships.
declining.
We've had many people where they have no relationships left, no in-person relationships left. It's all about the spirits in their home, these earthies that they think are their friend. They become family, where they're like family, and I take care of them and they love me. Well, as much as they can love, sure, but what is that? There's no conversations happening here. There's no even energy exchange here whatsoever. So, sorry, I got off on a tangent. I'm going to stop. Hope that answered your question. Yes. So.
Ooh, all right.
Yes.
Well,
here, there was another one on that one was, what is an ascended master?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
And I saw it right before I start flipping my thing. An ascended master is someone who had a very spiritual life here. And the reason I say spiritual, and they were not all majorly spiritual. I don't know how to explain that, because they're not like your favorite pop star or your I know Oprah Winfrey. I'm sorry, she is not an ascended master. I know some people like to think that she is. She is not. But they're, Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Ganesh, just, any of Isis, I mean, I could go on and on and on forever, right? They're all ascended masters. They have ascended to a higher vibration of being. And so they've ascended to that place. They have unmatched wisdom. They are teachers. They are leaders. They are healers, all of them. They're these incredible beings that, yeah, they're also guides. Fred is an ascended master. We've all talked about that. Or I've talked about that. You have ascended masters as guides as well. So they're these wonderfully huge amount of wisdom beings that had a spiritual, at least partial spirit, something spiritual. No, I'm being corrected. As I say that, I'm being corrected. They were spiritual beings. They had at least one lifetime that was okay, I'm being correct. The last life they had was a very spiritual one. They were spiritual leaders, spiritual guides within, this body. So this realm. Yeah. So we're all trying to get there. We all keep coming back and we're doing it in different
scratching and clawing and kicking and screaming and
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So there you go.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right.
I think I have one more, I think.
Ooh, pardon me. Woo, something got me.
Let's see.
Ooh.
I wonder if you ever encountered an entity that can have a decent long conversation
Good
on
question.
what happened. What do you actually talk with them? Is this the same question? I'm going to stop right there.
Yeah, that
because I think that's its own question. I've never had a long, decent conversation with an entity.
No, they're liars. You can't believe anything that comes out of their mouth. Nothing. Those low vibrational beings, they want something from you. They want your soul. They want to hurt you. They want to take over. They want to control you. They're manipulative. No, you don't have conversations with them.
I'm trying to think if any verbiage I've ever heard from an entity was even conversational. And I don't think so. I don't think so.
That's not what they're here to do or there to do.
Yeah.
And we're certainly not there to have some big conversation with. So no, that would be something you can with your guides, with your ascended masters, etc. Even angels.
Which would be the answer to this next part was, I'm wondering if an entity ever explained to you about things that are being talked about nowadays, like the passage to 5D, ascension, reptilians, the matrix of control, and all that.
I don't know what the matrix of control is.
Yeah,
that's probably just a different verbiage for something we do know.
Probably.
Because there's that would all be your guides and ascended masters. And usually you go up the ladder. With those, you go up the ladder to ascended masters.
Yeah, the higher the question, the higher the
being.
The being.
Yes.
The lower ones, no, absolutely not.
And they have no interest in any of that.
No.
Yeah. Good question. That
was a really good question.
Very good question.
Yeah. And okay. Yeah. The rest of that is just personal stuff. So thank you very much.
All right.
For your question.
Okay. I think we're almost.
We are getting close to the end. I think you have one that I don't.
Yeah. Well, I have a couple on here. You might want to check to see, but we have some on here. You've mentioned that when children are involved, you help right away. Is there a reason for that? So I'm assuming what she means is when people call us and they have activity in their home and they have children, we get out. Yes. Children do not have the capacity to understand what's going on.
No.
So we want to get in there right away and get rid of that activity. So a kid can be a kid A kid should not have to worry about
No,
being frightened all the time, having things moving around in their room, etc. And also what happens is we see this a lot is they begin to shut down and then they don't talk about it.
exactly.
So they suffer in silence. over it.
Silence,
It's
yeah.
like any abuse.
Yeah.
Whether it's an entity, an earthy, a parent, a sibling,
hmm
whoever, they hide the abuse.
Mhm.
They take it personal. They're at fault. And that's not fair.
Not at all.
It's not fair. What's really sad is we've had people contact us. They don't want us to come in and take care of the activity in the home. They just want to know if their kid is psychic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to stop that there because I think you all know what my reaction to that is. So we get in help right away. They can't help themselves. They don't have the resources.
No.
They can't reach out to us. They can't, you know, even if they wanted to, they just don't know how. They don't have, it's
And-
like any abuse.
And a lot of times they don't even understand
No.
what they're seeing. They don't know
No.
that it's paranormal. They just
No.
know it's scary.
Yes. And very scary. Not just a little scary, like
Yeah.
very scary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have another one? How does the change in vibrational, pardon me. How does the change in vibrational energy feel for the neighbors or in a bigger area around what you've cleared? Very interesting.
That is
That question.
that's a great question.
Mhm.
I know it wasn't too long ago during a
Excuse me, I'm just let
clearing.
you do that.
I think this was a clearing we did not do on our channel. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But I remember saying, "Oh my gosh, if the neighbors can't feel this high vibration, I would be so surprised."
Yeah.
We've never talked to a neighbor after a clearing,
Mm-mm.
so
Yeah.
we don't know.
Yes.
But I know sometimes that it has to
Yeah.
be felt.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not going to know why.
Mhm.
Most likely has to be
And
felt.
what I'm just getting now is that that's where many nature spirits will come in. They will, because we can only do the boundaries of the home, you know, the perimeter. And that's where nature spirits come in and they're able to sort of move the energy out to the neighbors, to the parks, to the whatever it is. Once that's started, they're able to really use it. We've had many people say, I know this isn't quite, but like the neighbor or a friend will come over and they're like, woof, this feels wonderful. Are the ceilings higher in here?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good question. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's one. When rivers or streams are well under the house when it's built, and maybe for hundreds of years, does the water hold memories and do they affect the house? Wow.
Does the water hold memory?
I'm going to say no to the memory. I should not be 100% on that because you know they'll come back to bite me in the ass.
Yeah. I mean, that's such a broad memories of what?
Yeah.
Memories.
Does it hold energy? Can it amplify energy? Yes.
Absolutely.
It can really amplify energy.
Yes.
That's a great question. I might have to.
And could it affect the house? I'm going to say on its own, it's not likely to affect the house.
But the energy. So
yeah.
if there's high vibration in the house or low vibration, whatever, it can amplify that.
Sure. Now, if you've got activity in the house, then it's going to amplify that as well. Yeah.
Great question. That was the good. Yeah.
That would be one you could dig into that. That can get really meaty.
Yeah. We might have to sit with that.
Yeah.
Why do homes get haunted? That's another big one. I think
that's a loaded question.
It is. And it's something I think. So ghost hunting is another one of those dichotomies. It's great that ghost hunting is out there. bringing awareness, bringing clarity, bringing an openness to, oh, ghosts are real.
Yes.
However, what it also does is they're just very often just talking out their butt. They don't know what they're just sort of, and there's sort of these things that have come from ghost hunting. Like every time someone dies in your house, that person's going to haunt your house. You know that, and that's
Okay.
just not true.
Not true. Not
Not-
true.
No. There's all kinds of ways your house can be haunted. It's not always someone you've watched us do a lot of, rarely is it someone that lived there before. There are passers, but you remember all the dimensions are stacked up on each other. And the grids are getting mixed up, which we will get to the grid question. And it creates like doorways and things can come in and out, and maybe they just like your house. They like you. They decide to stay. So there's lots of ways that homes get haunted. They can follow you home from somewhere.
That does not mean you have an attachment.
No, that's not an attachment.
That just means they followed you home.
Yes.
Maybe
they like you.
You had similar wounding. They like your vibration.
Yeah. There's some trauma bonding happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
If the vibration of the home is low, lots of trauma, alcohol use, drug abuse,
that sedation we were talking about.
I want to change drug use. I said drug abuse. It doesn't have to be abuse.
No.
That is a vibration that's very welcoming to earthbounders.
Yeah.
That's why it's not uncommon to find, activity in bars.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Taverns.
That's a big one. Yes.
Yeah.
So that goes into how do portals come into existence? Yes.
Yeah.
So that's another ghost hunting thing that's so big. Oh, there's a portal in there. There's a portal in there. I don't know how many times we've had people call us to clear their homes. They said we had, this ghost hunting team come in and they said there's a portal here. And we go, it's like, what the F is it? What?
How about there's two mirrors across from each other.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
And no.
And no.
Yeah.
So portals are something that happens. It's from an entity of very low vibration. It's almost like they tunnel up. So, and that's not exact. We see everything so linear. That's the only way.
That's a great explanation.
Yeah.
I think that's brilliant.
Thanks, Fred.
Yeah.
They tunnel their way through, and it opens that up.
And then it stays. That opening.
Yes.
It just stays. And
doorways, windows, entry. I mean, there's all kinds of things that can happen. Those are just through the dimensions that are the closest to us. A portal really comes from the lower realms. Yeah. So, and they can be collapsed. We've done it many a time. So yeah, so that was a good question too.
And they can kick your butt.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, they can.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's another thing that has evolved over the years. It used to be that there would take several of us to close a portal. And now, it doesn't anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Now it's just like a pretty quick thing nowadays. So, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Is everyone psychic? No. I know that's another thought that's out there, is that everyone's psychic. They just don't know it, or they just need to develop. I've been a teacher for a long time, and let me tell you, there are people that are not. They are not. Does everyone have the ability to tune into their own soul and have their own connection? Yes. We're all souls, and we can do that.
Yes.
That's not the same thing as being psychic.
Yes.
So there's that. That one, someone had, it was, we missed this one. It was last week when we talked about the Wendigos.
That's the one I didn't have that you had.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And then someone said something about, like Bigfoot, blah, blah. Do I believe in Bigfoot? Yes. Have I ever seen one? No. But I think this is my own opinion. Don't at me. But I think there are a lot of things that are multidimensional, and I do think Bigfoot is a multidimensional being. That's why we they're so hard to find.
Right. I've never seen a Bigfoot. Do I believe? I don't disbelieve.
Right?
I have seen multidimensional creatures
Mhm.
that I would never even have fathomed. So
Yeah.
who am I to say there's
Yeah,
no
exactly.
Bigfoot? I
Yes.
mean,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're,
Yeah.
yeah.
So there you go. Yes.
Why I'm reluctant to say I believe, I don't know.
And that's okay.
But
Yes.
you know, there's I'm done.
We're just gonna leave that there.
You know, that just made me really vulnerable. That
Oh,
whole Bigfoot
yes,
thing,
yes,
really? Yeah.
yeah, because I'm sure people watching, probably every one of you has a different view on Bigfoot. There are some people out there going, "Oh, these women, they're throwing stuff at the TV.
Okay.
Forget them. That's stupid. They're not out." And others are like, "Oh, did you just hear what they said?"
I'm going to follow this up by saying,
Yes.
I believe in the energy of Santa Claus. I do.
Okay.
I believe in the energy of Santa Claus.
Okay. Yeah.
And I carry that energy.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Sure. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So, yes,
Mhm.
I do believe that Bigfoot is a possibility.
Because Santa is.
I don't know why I'm trying to dig myself
I
out. Digging it out and I'm digging it deeper.
Well, my kids are adults and they're married and now I have grandchildren and everything, and their presents still come from Santa. So
Well, I've got an 8-year-old great niece.
mhm.
And all of her schoolmates were telling her there's
Oh.
no such thing as Santa.
Oh, that is so hard when that
So
happens.
she went home and she says, "Okay, Mom, I'm 8. I can know the truth. Tell me the truth."
Yes.
Do you know her mom told her there is no Santa?
Ouch.
And she's telling me this story, and I said, I believe in Santa.
Yeah.
I believe in the energy of Santa.
Yeah.
I believe in the love of Santa.
Yeah.
And she's back there. There's no Santa Claus. Okay. You ain't getting no Christmas present.
That's right. There's some things that just are loving to believe in or fun to believe in, or why not just allow there's something about
Yes.
becoming like all of a sudden we have to have all the answers, and it takes the fun away from when we were children. Like, why can't we just still engage in that belief and just have a good time with it and not have people tell you you're crazy or whatever?
Yeah. I have worked so hard in the past, I don't know how many years,
Mhm.
to be open to the possibilities.
Yes.
And if Bigfoot, Santa Claus
Sure.
isn't open to the possibilities, then I'm not doing enough work.
You're right. You can't say no to one and yes to another.
Exactly.
I like the way.
Yeah.
See, that's why she's my bestie.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
being open to the possibilities, and that doesn't make me feel vulnerable at all.
No.
Saying that I am open to the possibilities of whatever is out there.
Yes.
I don't know why this became all about me.
But it's okay. I think you have people out there. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments. You believe in Santa? Do you believe in the energy of Santa or no?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And help me off stage here, Pam.
Not happening. Okay, I'll move to another question. Here,
Okay,
I'll help
great.
you off stage.
Thank you.
All right. So the question's about grids. We had many questions about grids.
Woo.
And so remember when we didn't mention grids for a long time, if I remember. And then we had, do you remember the
The
conversation?
huge conversation that
Huge
we
conversation.
had. Do we? Don't we?
Yes. And I'm almost regretting it now. There have been times where it's like, shit, we should never have
never have said the G word.
No.
Never should have said it.
We went back and forth. Do we mention it? And we finally decided we would.
Yeah.
And it's opened up a big old can of worms that, well, you can't get them back in there now.
You cannot get worms back in the can.
Nope.
It does not happen. It does not happen.
So I do want to say that there are, when we say, oh, these grids need fixed. That
Yes.
that was some verbiage that we decided on. That's what we would say.
Mhm.
That,
Oh, that simple statement.
Yes.
Holy moly. That is a great big huge can
Yes.
that is stuffed full of all kinds
Yes.
of
yes.
different things.
There are so many steps to fixing. That's not even the correct term, but that's what we chose to use.
Mhm.
Fixing the grids.
And we still use that term between
We
us when
do.
we're talking.
We do.
Yeah.
Yes, it's become part of our vernacular, right?
Yeah. it has.
So grids are that's what holds the dimensions together
And separates them
and separates them. Yes.
all at the same
People
time.
have grids, the earth has grids, the universe has, everything has a grid to it, right? It's like this big map, right? Just of sorts. So they're everywhere, and it is a big part of what we do. There are many steps to it. Many, at the very least, there might be like 8 steps to fixing the grids. Every house we go into, it could be different, from 8 to, I don't know, 20 different steps. There's a lot to it. So
many factors.
So many factors. It's something that we teach and takes a while to learn. It's not a one and done. Oh, I can just tell you what they are. You go ahead and go do it. One of the reasons that I've kicked myself, because I think I was the driving force, and let's just say it, it's okay, is we've had people email us, 3 or 4.
It's 3 that I can think of.
Yeah. And they said, I've learned how to fix the grids from watching your videos, which is completely wrong. We've never taught anyone how to do it ever. And it worked out the first few times I did it, and this time it didn't. And I'm very grateful, and we were very grateful to them for coming to us at this point.
Yes.
They
had the humility
yes.
to reach out and say, Eek!
Yes,
I think I messed up.
And one of them, they created some openings that could have been very dangerous, very, very dangerous. So we're not going to go into it and tell you all the ins and outs, and and there was one question though, how do you see or feel grids?
Depends on who you ask.
Depends on who you ask. Everyone does it differently. That's one of the things, and I'm going to go back to those questions about developing, like, one of the reasons that you have a one-on-one teacher, like we teach, is because everyone is so different, and grids is the perfect example of that.
Perfect. Yep.
Every one of my students sees, feels, hears, knows, understands, fixes grids completely different. Maybe not completely, but very different.
But
different.
Very differently.
Very
yes.
different.
Very, very
and
different.
There's a lot of tools that go along with that. There's a lot more to it than just grids. So,
I was going to question when you said here, and then I thought, oh no, I've heard the grids before.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So it's all very different. I know that's not what you all wanted to hear. I know, and I apologize for that, but I think it would be very, I think I'll take responsibility. I'm the one that pushed her to say, I'm going to
let you take it. Because I think I was like, no, I don't.
And I pushed for it, and boy, I should have listened. And I apologize for that. However, this is another dichotomy thing. Because now more information is out there, and people know there's more to it.
Yep.
So we do. Yeah.
Yeah. And how do we leave a very important piece out of the puzzle?
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why we decided that we had to talk about it. I do like this question though. How did they get out of whack?
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you take that.
I think almost a simpler question would be, how do they stay in place?
Yes.
How do they get out of whack?
And they are, by the way, every one of you sitting in your home, they're out of whack.
I'm sitting here thinking, dang, I might need to in my own house.
Yes.
Chaotic energy, everyday life, trauma,
Mhm,
absolutely.
mhm.
If you have paranormal activity, now
Mhm.
you can still have paranormal activity and your grids be fine.
Not
Not going to
per-
stay that way
not,
though.
no. They're going to at least there's going to be something with them. Yeah.
Something follows you home.
Yeah.
It's not going to stay.
No.
They just can't.
Mm-mm.
The energy in your home
Mhm.
fluctuates.
Yes.
You wake up, you have a nightmare,
Oof. Yeah.
going to affect your grids.
Yep. Yep.
It's
Yeah.
going to affect your
Yep.
grids, which in turn affects
Yes.
her grids, his grids,
Everybody, yes.
everything. They can get out of whack just about any and every way.
Yes. And energy travels, by the way. So
Yes.
you could have a neighbor, you hear them fighting all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting like these energy balls thrown over to you and they're whoosh through and they're messing things up.
You live near a busy highway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That energy
Yeah.
can travel. And
so they need to be, certainly with what Mari-Lyn and I do, we fix them all the time. We look in, we figure out what's going, all the time. Yes, but everyone. So here's another thing too. People talk about like saging and everything, which is I don't do it. First of all, I never have, and it's because my allergies are.
I did it once. Couldn't breathe for 3 days.
Yes. All of that is great to do, and it brings up the vibration. But if the grids are messed up, you might as well, it's really not helping. After you get them all fixed, then yeah, I know. There's so many steps to what we do.
Yeah.
Fixing grids, crossing over an earthy are 2 steps out of, I don't know.
It's so many.
So
many. And it just depends so much on
and this,
everything
how can
else.
you tell if how can you tell if they're messy? What's the question? If they're messy. Everyone's are messy. Yeah. Yeah. and uh-huh.
Too bad there's not like this punch card for buy 10 grid fixes and get one free.
Yes. 10th one on us.
Okay, that was silly.
Why is it important to, well, no, with you and I and all of our, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're psychic, whether you know it or not, they're messed up too.
True.
So why is it important to fix them? I think we kind of talked about that. Yeah. It's to hold that high vibration, to keep your grit. You can be sick. You can get lethargic. I don't want to do something. You lose, excuse me, your, that inspiration to get up and do anything. There's so many different things.
It brings cohesion.
Yes. Beautiful way to say that.
Thank you.
Okay. Now the final question.
The final.
Yes. Is about this Santori and Cody.
Yeah.
Yes. Apparently they did some stuff with Sam and Colby, and people want to know about that. We had many questions. So we know some things because people gave some explanations of what they do. It's supposed to be some big breakthrough in which I have to say, I don't understand that at all.
Nor do I.
But
this is a way of communicating with.
That's what they say.
With earthies.
Yeah. They're ghost hunters doing their ghost huntery thing in a little different way.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, we're not doing ghost POV. Sorry,
no,
all of you who
want
that, but we will do a reaction to it. Please don't send in your video clips or anything. We have a student who at the moment is gathering a couple clips, just very short clips for us to look at and react to in a video. So we will do that.
Yep.
Yes. And it's not a ghost POV.
No. No, it's not.
No.
It's not.
Yeah. So someone's saying they communicate with ghosts. Well, that's what we do. So
that is what we do.
We're going to react to that and tell you what
we're going to look. We're going to look and see what we think.
All right.
And then we're going to tell you.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us today for part 2. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you for all your great questions.
Yes. Great.
And for
great questions.
Up with my lack of ability to speak today. I don't know what my problem is, but
We all have
That's
those
okay.
days. Yeah.
that's okay. Part of my charm.
So you can find us at tcseverydaypsychics.com. And that's
Yes.
where you, so I do want to bring something up actually.
Yes.
Please, if you want to contact us, contact with
Yes.
through our website. In the older videos, we would just give out our email address.
Oh yeah.
Please don't contact us through the email address, especially if you're wanting a service. Please do it through the web. We get lots of emails all the time, and all coming through the same place is much easier for us to keep them in order.
Yes.
And
It is. It is.
Yeah. So
Yep. So through the website,
Mhm.
tcseverydaypsychics.com.
mhm.
We appreciate it very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we also have the Conscious Spirit podcast.
Yep, we do.
If you're interested.
Yeah.
So we talk about more spiritual stuff. We have a lot of meditations on there, etc. All right.
The podcast has been on a little bit of a break.
Yes, we've been on a break
with the holidays.
Yeah.
But new stuff is coming. So,
Yeah.
Watch out for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much for tuning in and for your support. And please
Appreciate
like,
you.
share, subscribe if you haven't, all of that great stuff to get this perspective out there.
Yes. And remember, do you believe in the energy of Santa Claus?
Yes,
know.
Let us know.
Let us know in the comments.
All right. Thank you. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.